So what is your intention with getting a certification? Many of us want one, but could we be better served by taking a different approach and maybe even not even needing that certification, or at least not yet needing that certification? But what is the real purpose of it? We're going to dive into that topic in this video. What's up, guys? Ryan from Elevate Security here. Now, you might be wondering, why am I making a video on a Thursday? And the reason is I actually have a commitment that came up that I didn't know about. So I won't be able to make that live stream tonight. So I'm just going to give you guys a video here. I'm still going to make sure that I'm here for you guys with the content every day. And even though I'll be going on Thanksgiving break next week, I'm still going to make sure that you guys got a new video, a new piece of content out every day for absolute free here on the internet. So if you guys are liking that so far, if you guys are down for that, definitely give me a like on this video and subscribe to my channel. Lets me know that I'm not just some crazy guy yelling on the internet about security, that there's a real interest there. So yeah, let's just get right into the topic. Do you need a certification? Do you need OSCP, right? What is your purpose with getting a certification? I think a lot of people go wrong here in terms of the value of a certification. So I think where a lot of people go wrong is they look for a certification to fulfill all these needs, right? Obviously, maybe they want to get into security, or maybe they're already in security and they want to get a better job. It's great for that. But, maybe they want to learn, in a topic, they want to learn security, right? They want to get better and hone their skills. Now, on the surface, this sounds like a good idea, but if you really dive into it, you don't need a certification in order to learn something, right? And in fact, oftentimes you will be able to learn so much more without the limitations of a certification. What do I mean by this, right? One of the gripes of OSCP, if we just take that as an example, is a lot of times people say that the OSCP is outdated, right? I know it's gotten its overhaul in 2020, but people would still complain as to the practicality of the OSCP, even though it is one of the most practical certifications on the market currently. When it comes to comparing that to real-life engagements, there's still a pretty large disparity there. So if you want to learn a piece of technology, especially as security guys, we always have to be on top of things. There's always new technology coming out, and with that comes a whole new set of potential exploits, vulnerabilities, etc., right? Let's take the example of Docker, right? You might be familiar with the Docker utility, right? Able to run those containers where you can run your apps in an environment that you specify that's at the application level. You don't have to rely on different hardware, different OS, a certain virtual machine just to run your program. You can just have it in its own software container, right? And that way you don't have to worry about the headaches that come with dependencies and like running it on different machines, right? That's what that does, but that comes with a whole new set of potential security vulnerabilities. This is a fairly newer technology, and so let's just say, for example's sake, you wanted to learn how to pen test Docker, configurations and things like that, right? Now, you're going to have a hard time finding a certification on the market for that niche, for one thing. And secondly, you're going to have an even tougher time finding one that is also not only good for learning, but reputable to put on your resume that non-security people would, find value in, because that is one of the big keys to this, right? You got to remember, when it comes to certifications, and this can be a bit of a debated topic, but I truly believe you have to remember, when it comes to certifications, you're not just marketing yourself to security people. Oftentimes, you are marketing to yourself to people who have no idea about security whatsoever. The general HR people, the people that are in charge of hiring you, often know absolute zero about security. So with that being said, the reputation of the certification really matters when you look at it purely from a HR standpoint, from a how can I make more money or how can I position myself to get a job in this industry standpoint, right? So an HR person is not going to really know. This is why I pursue OSCP over something like ECCPT XYZ certification, right? Because, it might be better. It might be better for learning, right? But here's the deal, like I was saying before, I don't need a certification to learn something, right? Now, you will learn stuff through pursuing the OSCP, and that's a nice bonus. You can make the argument that if you pursue CEH, you won't really learn much, right? But with CEH, you have that HR impact. That is why, a lot of you guys, you hate CEH. I get it. A lot of people in this industry hate on it. But here's the reality. The people that are hiring you are not security people, right? Now, ultimately, when you get to the interview process and stuff, you'll talk to security people, you'll interview them. But to get that far, to get your foot in the door, having something like CEH can really benefit you especially if you don't have any certifications right now, right? That's an easy one that you can get. And then you have something on your resume and you have something to get past the HR process. That is one of the most difficult parts, right? So if you're looking for a job in security, a lot of times in that initial phase, the screening phase, they have hundreds of applicants, right? Maybe even thousands in some cases. They're not going through and looking and reading everyone's resume end to end. They're applying automation to it a lot of times, and that's looking for keywords, right? So oftentimes in this list of keywords included are some of the most popular certifications. OSCP would often be on this list. CEH would often be on this list, right? So you might have one of the coolest, newest, hottest, trendiest, most effective certifications, but if it's not reputable and hasn't been established for a very long time, as has CEH and as has OSCP, then there's a good chance that it's going to be missed on that initial look over to get your foot in the door. So if you have some reputable or like well-known, we'll just say well-known certifications on your resume already, that's when something like ECCPT stuff like that can come into play and actually help you more, right? Because you already have those baseline certifications on your resume to get your foot in the door. Now you show off some of the flashier things that people that are more technical will see because you already got your foot in the door. That's when some of these things can come in, right? But this is why OSCP, really strong certification for pretty much any level, no matter where you're at. I truly do believe that even if you're a beginner, you can get your feet wet with stuff. You can learn this stuff, and you can get this certification. I've heard of many people who are pretty new to security getting into this, and through persistence and hard work, were able to get it. But you got to understand, right? You're doing this primarily for from an HR benefit. You're not really doing this to learn stuff, right? I'm not saying you won't learn stuff. You will. You'll learn quite a lot through OSCP. I certainly have just by attempting it. That is a lot of how I'm able to make these videos and help you guys out with these different things. Before I took the OSCP, I only knew a fraction of these things that I'm teaching you on this channel, right? Well, of course, I learned a lot on the job as well in the last 5 years of doing that, no doubt. But a lot of it I did learn from the OSCP. And so you will learn, but the primary goal, if your primary goal is just learning and being better, and you don't really care about getting that HR boost, then I would say just go off and learn on your own through being practical with this stuff, right? If you're completely new, check out some books that will help you out on the topic of whatever security area you're trying to learn. If it's like something like Linux, there's a lot of Linux books out there. The No Starch Press books are pretty good, I gotta say. You could look at stuff like Web Application Hackers Handbook, or if you're interested in bug bounties, you can look at the bug hunting, bug hunting book. Forget what it's called. I think it's just called Bug Hunting or something like that by No Starch Press. And that'll show you from a bug bounty perspective how to find specific web app vulnerabilities. So you get a basic understanding of that, right? Then you do some CTFs. You do some Hack the Box, Try Hack Me, something like that, VulnHub. You can do these things for absolute free, or at the very least for a fraction of the price that you would pay for OSCP, right? And you just do those, and you'll learn a ton. And then you can get into bug bounties if you want to go that route. And yeah, just by being really hands-on with that, like, I'm going to be honest, I want to get more into that space. And after I, finish OSCP, that's one of the things on my radar is to really dive in to the bug bounty space. Really interesting area. Talk about practical though. That is like, you can't get any more practical than that. Really, you're actually hacking these applications. So that's what I would say if you're interested in purely for the learning perspective. And let me know down in the comments section below. I would love to get a read on like where a lot of guys are at here, because I'm not really sure. I know a lot of people that watch my content seem to express interest in OSCP, but is that just for a learning, for the purposes of learning, or is that for the purposes of maybe landing a job in the industry? Are you already in the industry? Maybe you're looking to be able to negotiate a higher salary or more benefits, work remote, full-time, which you can do that even without the OSCP. That's the arrangement I kind of have going on here right now. It's not full remote. They want me to be still in the city here. But in the future, I'd probably look for a full remote right now, because that is where things are headed, and you have that kind of leeway, potentially even without OSCP. But of course, if you have that in your tool belt, then you have more negotiating power, most certainly. But yeah, what is the purpose for OSCP for you guys? Or you're just interested in learning more about security in general? I'd love to hear what you guys have to say down in the comments below. So yeah, definitely drop a note to me like there and let me know, because yeah, I'd love to hear it. But yeah, I think that a lot of people, when they think about this stuff, they sort of lump it all together. A lot of people think, I want OSCP because I'll be guaranteed a job in the industry and I will learn how to become an elite hacker. But that's not really true, right? Like I said in another video, I know a number of people that have the OSCP, but I would not consider them very good hackers, to be quite honest with you. So that much is very possible as well, right? So even though it requires a lot to pass this thing, it's not going to necessarily make you a really good hacker or anything like that. I'm not saying you're not going to learn stuff. You will. But that alone won't even guarantee you a job either. It'll give you a really good shot. I'm sure you'll be able to get it, no doubt. But if you have no other experience, then it might be a little bit tough, right? So, that's a whole nother topic of how can I get into security? But I wanted to kind of segue that or link that in there so you guys could make that connection as well. But yeah, like if you're just coming fresh off with no experience, you're probably going to need to get some IT experience first, or coding experience first, or at least some bug bounty experience at the very least, before you can land a job in there. So I would recommend that first. But yeah, a lot of people just I feel like they have a certain idea of the OSCP, and I wanted to distill the main purpose. Never lose track of the main purpose of a certification. It is to certify you, right? To certify you to employers, right? So it's basically just a piece of paper certifying that you have some knowledge. That doesn't mean necessarily that you're going to be an expert in this thing, right? I think a lot of us know people that are certified experts in certain topics that we find out really are not very expert at all, right? I mean, how many times have you seen, teachers, like business professors, right? They're business experts that never ran a business, right? You know what I mean? So it's kind of like that. And so yeah, I hope this is all making sense to you guys. Let me know down in the comments section below if you have any questions on this or anything. But this is just something that's been on the forefront of my mind lately. And since I didn't have time to do the live stream tonight, I have another commitment. I really wanted to pump this video out there and get the discussion going here on this. But yeah, I hope this one was of help to you guys. And no live stream next week. I'll be out of town for Thanksgiving, but I'm going to make sure that I get that daily upload in for you. So next Tuesday, next Thursday, look for another video upload from me on those days. And the following week when I get back, we will jump right back in with the live streams. Now, if you were interested in that grandpa box that we were doing last time on there, definitely keep yourself posted on this channel. I'm going to just go ahead and make a video on me wrapping that up. And I'll do it in a live manner. That way that you guys can still see me work through that if you were interested in that box in particular. I know one of you guys requested me specifically to do that box. So if that was you, or if you're just interested, definitely keep a lookout for the videos that I'm going to release. One of them will be me wrapping up the grandpa box. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this one. I'll see you in the next one. Later, guys.